Hey y'all, it's Dorinda. So, as part of my Becoming Her series, this restored version of me, I wanted to share this with you in hopes that it will bless somebody today because I know it's blessing me as I go through the process. But with so much loss in my life, I knew I was broken. I just didn't know how to fix it, right? Because restoration isn't loud, it's really a slow awakening. It's the quiet whisper of your spirit finally exhaling, right? That's how I feel now. I feel like, okay, God, I'm coming through this. And when I think about the various stages of loss throughout my life, so when my father died, I carried the weight of guilt from our last conversation. The last thing I told him was, I hate you, because he was giving up on his battle with AIDS, and I felt like he was giving up on me, and I felt cheated by God. So I was so angry. I had so many feelings of guilt. But when my mother died in my 40s, I felt at peace because she was suffering for so long from the cancer that was, throughout her body, but also her addiction would no longer plague her. So I felt at peace with her death, if that makes sense. And I was able to get through it knowing that she was in a better place. But, losing my husband, it was a different kind of loss because he was my best friend of 33 years. And that broke me in a way that I never expected. And, I had to come to realize this because we shared a depth of intimacy emotionally, spiritually, physically for 33 years. I was with him for more than half my life at that point up until he died. So, he was part of my soul. And that absence left a void that only God could fill. And yet here I stand, a little wiser, a little stronger, not who I was as his wife, and not who I thought I'd be at this stage of my life. But I'm still stronger, I'm still softer, I'm still wiser. And at this point in my life, I'm not rushing anything. I'm letting God place every piece exactly where it needs to be, exactly where it belongs. And for the first time in a long time, I feel ready for the next chapter, ready to embrace whatever God has waiting for me, because I know that even after such a deep loss, there's still purpose. And I know there's still God's promise. And there is still more life to live. So for anyone out there who's grieving the loss of a job, of a loved one passing, of being an empty nester, or any significant change, just know that your restoration is coming. It may not come as fast as you like, right? But I want you to know there's a point in your life when it's going to click and you're going to be ready to embrace the blessings that God continues to have in store for your life. So if you're stuck in that grief process right now, I promise you there's something big and beautiful waiting for you on the other side. So just hang in there and do what you need to do to get through this process. And I hope that bless somebody. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message, please share it. Thanks.